So we are in 66.43?
44, Mataji.
44. Okay. So the question asked by Arjuna was, what will happen to an unsuccessful yogi? Will he fall down because he has given up the materialistic life and has taken up to the spirituality, at least a spiritual path, a jnani or a Ashtanga yogi, or you can say a bhakta? So what is the destination? Will they fall down? So Krishna says no. In this process, there is no diminution. Neha vikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasa dharmasya trayate mahato bharat. Swalpamapyasa dharmate. Even if a person has done a small thing, there is no loss. Especially in Bhakti Yoga, there is no loss. On Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, he has to try a lot. But in Bhakti Yoga, whatever he has done, from there it starts the next time, next percentage. So then Krishna says,
Mataji, you are on mute. Mataji.
clearly it has been mentioned. Now, there is a yogi who has done yoga abhyas for a small time. Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvatim samaha shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga bhrashta vijayate. They are known as yoga bhrashtas. They have done something, but they could not achieve perfection. So they will be born in a very rich family or in a family of learned person. You can say a Brahmana family. What about the person who has done, yogi who has done yoga abhyas for a long time? Athava yoginamevah kule bhavati dhimatam etadhi durlabataram loke janma yadi drusham. They will be born in a family of transcendentals, Guru Acharya family. Right from the beginning, they will be inclined to follow the rules and regulations. You don't have to tell them, they will be inclined. Tatratam buddhi samyoga labate paurvadehikam yatite cha tato bhuyah samsiddha kurunandana. So this also we did last time, right? 43 also we did. Tatratam buddhi samyogam. They revive. 43 also we completed. They revive the divine consciousness of his previous life and they again want to make progress in order to achieve complete success. So that is their aim. They have done yoga abhyas, or you can say bhakti, for a long time. Small thing is remaining. Then 44th verse. Purva abhyasena tenaiva haryate yavashopi saha jigyasurapi yogasya shabda brahmati vartate. Purvabhyasena tenaiva haryate yavashopi saha jigyasurapi yogasya shabda brahmati vartate. Because of the divine consciousness of his previous life, purvaha. Purva means previous life. Practice. That is abhyasena. Purvabhyasena. Tenaha eva riyate. That is why he is attracted. He is attracted automatically to the yogic principles. Avashaha. Avashaha means avashya. This is avashya. Avashaha. He is automatically attracted to the yogic principles. And then jigyasu api, he is very inquisitive. Such inquisitive transcendentalists, what happens? Shabda brahmaha ativartate. That is how he surpasses. He stands above, you can say. He surpasses even the principles of the scriptures. Now there are ritualistic principles in the scriptures. He becomes transcendental even to these principles of the scriptures which are based on three modes of material nature. He surpasses them. He becomes transcendental even to these principles. This only a bhakta can do. Bhakta is always transcendental, or bhakti is always transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Sagunan samatitetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He surpasses. Even the path of transcendentalists like Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, they come over and above to the rules and the regulations which have been given in the scriptures, which just makes a person follow Chaturvarnyam, Varnashrama system. What are the rules and regulations? That is to follow Varnashrama. If a person has to surpass this also, then he has to go above. He has to go above. Like Varnashrama says, if you are a father, if you are a grahastha, you have to follow certain rules and regulations. If you are a son, you have to follow certain rules and regulations. If a person has to practice Jnana Yoga, he has to, or you can say Dhyana Yoga, he has to go to a secluded place. He has to cross this. Naturally, he has to give up everything and go. Bhakti, again, so Bhakta Yoga, Bhakti, he also surpasses. Doing everything, still he surpasses. There's a difference. There's a difference between Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Bhakta, he utilizes everything. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upinjataha nirbandha krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya chate. We studied in the 6th chapter. They have yukta vairagi, anasaktasya vishayan. He doesn't have any attachment. What about Ashtanga yogis? They try to give up, but not all are Falgu Vairagis. Huh? If they are really sincere to come to the level of Samadhi, they will somehow practice Ashtanga Yoga to the point of Pratyahara very seriously, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Their Dharana, whom to meditate upon, they will be very serious. And Bahunam Janmanamante, after so many lifetimes, if a fortunate Dhyani Yogi or a Jnana Yogi comes in contact with a Bhakta, and that time he seriously takes it up and meditates on the Supreme Personality of God. That is how he progresses. Samadhi. He understands his constitutional position. So anyhow, he has to surpass the rules given in the scriptures. He has to transcend them. Then only he can progress in the path of Dhyana Yoga or in the path of Bhakti Yoga. Okay. So here there's a nice verse which has been put, Srimad Bhagavatam. Aho batasva pachotogariyan yajjivakre vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juvushashnurarya brahmanuchurnama grunhanti ete. It is understood. What is understood? That one who is chanting the holy name of Lord, the Brahmanuchurnama grunhanti ete, one who is chanting the holy name of Lord, even though may be born in a low caste community, which is not coming even in the Shudra class. At least Shudras come in Varnashrama. In Varnas, Chatur Varna, Shudras come. But Mlechas, dog eaters, they don't come in this class. They are more degraded. Even though he may be born in this community or as a dog eater or in the family of dog eaters, but he is chanting the holy name. That means it is understood that in the previous life, he has done austerity. He has done sacrifices. He has taken bath. He has bathed in all sacred places. He has finished all the scriptural studies. It is understood. Why? He knows the essence of the Vedas. Essence of Vedas is to know Krishna. Okay? Vijay Prabhuji, please read. Vijay Prabhuji is from Hindi batch. He missed this class. That is why today he has joined the English batch. Yes, read.
Thanks, Mantraji. Om Purvabhyasena tenaiva Dhyate Hyavashopi Saha Jigyasurapi Yogasya Shabda Brahmati Vartate. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Purport, Srila Prabhupada Namo Namaha. Advanced yogis are not very much attracted to the rituals of the scriptures, but they automatically become attracted to the yoga principles, which can elevate them to complete Krishna consciousness, the highest yoga perfection. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.7, such disregard of Vedic rituals by the advanced transcendentalists is explained as follows. Aho bhatrashvapachatu gariyan yajjihvagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juhuvasasruradhya brahmanuchurnam granantiyete. O my Lord, persons who chant the holy names of your Lordship are far, far advanced in spiritual life, even if born in the families of dog eaters. Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices, bathed in all the sacred places, and finished all scriptural studies. The famous example of this was presented by Lord Sri Chaitanya, who accepted Srila Thakura Haridasa as one of his most important disciples. Although Thakura Haridasa happened to take his birth in a Muslim family, he was elevated to the post of Namacharya by Lord Sri Chaitanya Prabhu due to his rigidly attended principle of chanting 300,000 holy names of the Lord daily. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And because he chanted the holy name of the Lord constantly, it is understood that in his previous life he must have passed through all the ritualistic methods of the Vedas, known as Shabda Brahma. Unless therefore one is purified, one cannot take to the principles of Sri Krishna consciousness or become engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay, next verse. प्रयत्नादतमानस्तु योगी संशुद्ध किल्बिषः अनेक जन्म संसिद्धिस् ततो याति परां गतिम् प्रयत्नाद यतमानस्तु योगी संशुद्ध किल्बिषः अनेक जन्म संसिद्धिस् ततो याति परां गतिम् प्रयत्नाद by rigid practice. Yatamanastu, tamanaha is endeavoring. Yogi is endeavoring by rigid practice. For bhaktas, it is not a rigid practice. It is a very simple practice. One is trying to control the senses and mind. One is employing the senses. Very easy to employ the senses. Oh, I should not see Rasgulla. I should not see Rasgulla. Oh, I offered Rasgulla, I can take it. For Bhakta, it is very easy. He doesn't have to artificially control. Just offer and have it. So what happens is, the very desire in the mind is purified just because he has taken Krishna Prasadam. And slowly, slowly he learns to sacrifice. Now the Prasadam is actually Krishna's mercy. He starts distributing. Oh, in Dabba, no Rasgullas are left. He is satisfied. Oh, I have distributed the Prasadam. Initially, he keeps for himself. Then he learns to distribute. See, there's a lot of difference. When a person tries to control, it is not so easy. It's not so easy. Because at the level of the mind, sense objects hover. Like haunts, you can say. It haunts. Because at the level of mind, there are senses. There is a sense within mind. There's an eye within the mind. There's an ear within the mind. There's a taste within the mind, tongue within the mind. You just think of some pani puris. You can immediately eat pani puris. You know that? That is why it is said, never see others' plate. Before others eat, you only have eaten. You know, there is an item known as sizzlers, which makes sounds. Like that. So once we had gone to one hotel, I was taking one apple and I was taking some stupid vada pav. And sizzler which was coming. My whole dhyanam was there. Before that person ate, actually I had swaha. Why? My whole dhyanam was in that sizzler. What I have eaten, I was not knowing also. So it happens. You just have to look at others. You will be satisfied before he has eaten. This is generally said, don't look at others' plates. Once I was making pav bhaji. My neighbor came. What is this? We are doing here dhyana. We are teaching that just come out of all these sense objects. You know, Vipakshana, they just mourn vrat and all they do. But the pav bhaji smell is entering everyone's nose. They are not able to concentrate. I am not the body and soul. Even they don't want to accept even soul also. Shunyavad. They are actually Buddhisms. Shunyavad. They don't want to accept there is this pav bhaji is distracting us. I said, you are not able to come out of pav bhaji. What are you going to come out of? I was thinking in the mind. Please close the door and make anything. So whatever it is not so easy. It is not so easy to control the mind. Mind speaks a lot. Your mouth may not speak, but mind speaks a lot. If you connect your mind to any instrument, you'll be surprised to see, oh, I think all this nonsense. So mind speaks a lot. So the best way to control the mind is employ the mind in Krishna service. Employ the senses. Prayatna, very difficult. One has to endeavor. About whom we are speaking? About Ashtanga yogis and Jnana yogis. They have to endeavor a lot. And then only samshuddha kilbishaha. They are washed off all the contamination. Aneka janma. It takes aneka janma. For a devotee, it's not aneka janma. Just chant the holy name slowly, slowly. One attains the love for Krishna. If you want to love Krishna, you love 5 things of Krishna. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's leelas, and Krishna's devotees. You love them. 5 things you love, automatically one is washed of all the sins. Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's family, and Krishna's pastimes. That is why they said, night one should read one pastime and sleep. So that night means it is not dead night. Like you are reading now. This is a night. And you should sleep early. Not that I have been told to read 10 o'clock, I'll read, somehow I'll sleep and read. Then morning I'm not able to get up. No. Don't make it as a ritual. Spiritual is beyond ritual. Don't make Bhagavad reading to be a ritual. It is spiritual. That is why one should be fresh while he is reading, so that he can wake up early in the morning. As a sadhakas, we are all at the level of sadhakas. At the level of prema, there is no sleep. There is no sleep at the level of prema. Even if he sleeps at 2 o'clock, he can wake up at 4 o'clock. Srila Prabhupada just slept at 2 o'clock and woke up. Only 2 hours he used to sleep. So at the level of prema, the pure devotee can do so much of austerities. It is not austerity for him. It is actually love. Like mother cooks, go on cooking for the child. But when the same mother is a young girl, she cannot do that. Even to cook one item, it is a big thing. So it all stages. Anyhow, it takes many, many births of practice. Then he attains the highest goal. Prayatna. He has to practice a lot. Who? Ashtanga yogis, Jnana yogis. When he attains Lord, Yesham Twantagatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Dvandva Moha Nirmuktva Bhajante Mam Drudavataha. This is very important verse. Yesham Twantagatam Papam. When completely your papa is gone, and completely a person's all papas are gone, Jananam Punya Karmanam. He attains what? Punya Karmana. Which Punya Karmana we are talking here? We are not talking about pious activities, because Te Dvandva Moha Nirmukta. See, this line is very important. Te Dvandva. He comes out of Dvandva. Dvandva means 2 things. Sukha, Dukha, pious, impious. Isn't it? Now what is spoken here? He has to come out of all the papas. So this papa includes punya also. So-called punya. punyas of this material world. Come out of being good also. Be transcendental, be divine. And that is real punya karmana. Come out of all these things. So I should help a person who is blind. You help him, yes, by giving Krishna Prasad. There's a lot of difference. You help not based on goodness. You help him so that he'll be relieved from these terrible difficulties. See, you can give some food, you can give maybe some work, but are you able to remove really his misery? No. A blind man is a blind man. What to do? It's a purva karmas. But then how you can help him? By giving Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam, and giving him Krishna Prasad. Relate him to Krishna first. Revive his consciousness so that when he starts chanting the holy name, further whatever difficulties he has to get, that will be completely washed off. So give permanent solution. Come out of all these punyas also. Come out of being good in the society. Don't be good, because people will expect you to be more good. If you are bad, at least they will not say become worst. See, your mother is never satisfied. When we are small, I still remember, I used to get 85%. My mama used to say, look at me like this. You should get more. Then what is this? How much I am doing? Still, she is not satisfied. Then if I get 87%, she'll again look at me. So you should get little more. That means, howsoever you be good, the expectation is like you get 35%. They will not say, come down. Isn't it? So better is being worst in the society. Be bad in the society. They will not expect you to become worst. But come out of this also. Bad, good. Te dvandva moha nirmukta. Dvandva means two opposites. Come out of this. And jananam punya karmanam. Do activities keeping Krishna in the center. Yeah. Bhajante mam dudavataha. When it will happen? When he has taken a firm decision, or he is determined to worship Krishna. Bhajante mam. Krishna says mam. Mam refers to a person. The air cannot say bhajante mam. Impersonal cannot say bhajante mam. This itself shows Krishna is a person. It's not impersonal. Krishna is person. So when a yogi understands this, even a dhyana yogi, he worships, he meditates on Paramatma. And Patanjali Yoga system speaks about artificial Paramatma, just to control the senses. Meditate on Paramatma, just superficial Paramatma. Krishna says, I am that Paramatma, Upadarshtanumanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara, Paramatmeti chapyukto dehesmi, Purushapara. 13th chapter it will come. And very clearly Krishna says here, bhajante mam, serve me, bhai. Serve me, Krishna says. Me means there is a person who is saying this. To understand this, a yogi has to come out of being good, being bad, and start worshipping Lord. Start serving Lord. Bhajante mam. How? With complete determination. And what is the determination? Krishna is a person. I am servant. Okay. Okay. Who will read? Mayur Prabhu read.
Prayatnat Prayatnat Yatamanastu Yogi Samshuddha Kilbishaha Aneka Janma Sansiddhis Tatoyati Paramgatim. Meaning, and when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being washed off all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. Purport. A person born in particularly righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family becomes conscious of his favorable condition for executing yoga practice. With determination, therefore, he begins his unfinished task, and thus he completely cleans himself of all material contaminations. When he is finally free from all contaminations, he attains the supreme perfection, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the perfect stage of being freed of all contaminations. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Yesham anta gatam papam jananam punyam karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajate mam dridhavrataha. After many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed from all contaminations and from all illusory dualities, one becomes engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Okay, next verse. तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्यो मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन. तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी. तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी. Read when I am reading, your mouth should. तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः. ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी. कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन. तस्माद् योगी भवार्जुन. Now here bhakta has not been spoken. We'll come to it. Tapasvibhya. Adhiko yogi. Greater than a tapasvi is a ashtanga yogi. Tapasvi is jnana yoga. So jnana yoga is more greater than jnana yoga. This is my mata. And the same person is greater than even karma yogi, fruity worker. Therefore, in all circumstances, at least be a yogi. Krishna is not telling at least be a bhakta. At least come to the stage of being a yogi. Anyhow, Arjuna is a bhakta. It is a general instruction which has been given through Arjuna. That at least come out of being karmi, come out of being a jnani, start seeing Paramatma in everyone's heart. That is how at least be an Ashtanga yogi. Now, Prabhupada writes in the purport, here bhakta has not been spoken, or bhakta yoga has not been spoken because Ashtanga yoga never even stands near bhakta yoga. Bhakti cannot be compared. It is incomparable. And Ashtanga yoga cannot be greater than bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga. It cannot be greater. That means it is understood. It is derived. And bhakti yoga is greater than even Ashtanga yoga or Dhyana yoga. Okay. Anamika, read.
तपस्वीभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानिभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको योगी तस्मात् योगी भवार्जुनः. A yogi is greater than a static, greater than the impersonalist, and greater than a fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances be a yogi. When we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. Such a process named differently by the various practitioners in terms of particular method adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitive activities, is called karma yogi. When it is predominantly empirical, it's called janana yoga. And when it is predominantly in a devotional relationship with Supreme Lord, is called bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimately perfections of all yogas, as will be explained in the next verse. The Lord has confirmed here in the superiority of a yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than a bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and therefore nothing can excel it. Asceticism without self knowledge is imperfect. Empiric knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect. And fruitive worker without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga. And this is still more clearly explained in the next verse.
Okay. Last verse, most important verse, because Krishna says, what you are doing yoga, yoga, which dhyan yoga? If you want to do dhyan yoga, you meditate on me. Yoginam api sarvesham, among all the yogis, because some may take pride. Okay, we are Ashtanga yogis. Ashtanga yoga is far greater than Jnana yoga, far greater than Karma yoga. But Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham, madgadena antaratmana, Shraddhavan bhajate yomam, same yukta tamo mataha. Very important verse, and memorize it. Even at night, somebody shakes you and asks, can you tell me what is the ultimate perfection for Ashtanga yoga? You should know. Yoginam api sarvesham, madgadenantaratmana, Shraddhavan bhajate yomam, same yukta tamamataha. My mata, Krishna says, this is my opinion. What is my opinion? Yoginam api sarvesham. Among all the yogis, whoever is always meditating upon me, madgadenantaratmana, who is always meditating upon me. Who is meditating? A bhakta is doing or not when he is chanting? While chanting, he should meditate. While chanting, what happens at the level of sadhana? There also we meditate on our sleep only. We meditate on so many things which should not be meditated upon. We have to meditate on Krishna. So here, Bhakta Yoga, Bhakti Yoga has been introduced, or the ultimate perfection for any path is attaining Bhakti Yoga. Yoginam, because comparison has been given. Beyond Jnana is Ashtanga or Dhyana, you can say. Beyond Jnana is Dhyana. Beyond Dhyana is Bhakti. And what is Bhakti? Madgadenantaratmana. Always think of Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Remember these two things. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, vismartavya na jatichit. Smartavya satatam Vishnu. Always remember him. In what way? Even Kansa also remembered him, always. But in a favorable way. Anukulyasa sankalpa, not pratikulyasya. Pratikulyasya varjanam. Anukulyasya, in anukula bhava. So always remember Krishna, for that one should chant. Never forget, for that one has to connect. For never forgetting Krishna, collect whatever activities you're doing into Krishna. You go to work, you earn and come, donate. Donate some part. Maintain your house so that you can sit and chant in your house. The house is actually a temple. Every house is a temple. So you have to maintain, you have to have a roof. So maintain. Keep something for your future also. Maintain your body also. And do some dharma. Dharma is what? Charity. Help some needy by giving Krishna Katha or by giving Krishna Prasadam. Help the cows or serve the cows. So, you utilize your money in a proper way. That is why you are earning. And in the house, cook for Krishna, clean the home. You come to temple, take part in all the temple activities, clean the temple, have the consciousness before I eat, have the temple people eat, took the prasad, has the cows in the farms, they have taken prasad. So we should always remember, that is why this is a pancha sanskaras, which has to be always done. Before I take, I should remember that have they taken, because monthly we get salary, isn't it? For our maintenance. So it is a rule. Rupa Goswami says 50% of your income should be donated. That is only for high class devotees, those who are very mature, because they don't have any much expenses. 50% they keep it aside. And 50%, they 25% for the family members, 25% for personal maintenance, for the future also. But now you say, oh, so much of tax is going. At least 10%. 10% also cannot be done. At least give in such an extent that it is like adding salt to the food. Something should be given. Always understand, when there is an income, you should keep 1/10 part. In not 1/10 part, at least something. Because ultimately sacrifice that will give us automatically renunciation. That attachment to the material objects will automatically be wiped off. Because you're utilizing everything Krishna service, Mad Gadena Antaratmana, and how it should be done, Shraddhavan, with complete faith. Bhajate Yomam, keep me in the center and serve. Then you are connected. You are connected. Same Yukta Tamo Mataha, you are always connected to me. That's why you can be in any part of the world. You have to get connected. Tan man dhan sab hai tera. Swami sab kuch hai tera. We sing very nicely, isn't it? Tan man le mera, dhan sab mera. No, the dhan is also for Krishna only, not just tan and man. Dhan. When we start giving, automatically anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upajanjata. Where to give? Where there is a proper utility of the money which is given. Whatever you're earning is your karma phala. That karma phala should be employed in Krishna's service. Then everything is proper. If somebody takes from you and puts in his pocket, then it's a wrong thing. He's taking others' karma phala, a nice danda he will get. You have to be very careful. That is why it is said only Brahmanas can take donation. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras are not supposed to do that. Brahmanas, they should employ it in Krishna's service. If he becomes greedy, then again, he will be beaten. Because karma phala of others cannot be employed in one's own leisure. No. It has to be employed in Krishna's service, in feeding the cows, in feeding the Vaishnavas, in maintaining the temple. Everything has to be. That is why there should be a very transparent, you can say transparency. There should be transparency in the donations what you are getting. That's why we put the messages, isn't it? Even if a person is given 101 rupees or 51 rupees, it doesn't matter. 5 lakhs, 51 for Krishna, it doesn't matter. He knows a person who has given 51 rupees. Yes, he may not be having much income. But you are earning crores and giving 51, then Krishna will again slap you on. It is according to what capacity a person has. Squirrel had small capacity, but Prabhu Ram accepted the endeavor done by squirrel. Hanuman's capacity is very big. So whatever capacity a person has, Same Yukta Tamo Mataha, connected to Krishna. Then one will never forget Krishna. Okay, last verse. Who will read? Aditya read. Aditya is connected. He is here only, but he is connected also. Read.
Hare Krishna. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. Translation: and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abide in me, thinks of me within himself, and render transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. Purport. The word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the verb bhaj, which is used when there is a need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one, but service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can avoid worshipping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discourteous, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned.
Every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution. Failing to do this, he falls down. The Bhagavatam 11.5.3 confirms this as follows. Ye esham purusham sakshad atmaprabhavam ishwaram na bhajantya avajananti sthanad bhrushtah patantya adaha. Sorry. Anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the principal Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. In this verse, also the word bhajanti is used. Therefore, bhajanti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only, whereas the word worship can be applied to demigod or to any other common living entity. The word avajananti used in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is also found in Bhagavad Gita, avajananti mamuna. Only the fools and rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita without an attitude of service to the Lord. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word bhajanti and the word worship. The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in Bhakti Yoga. All the other yogas are but means to come to the point of Bhakti in Bhakti Yoga. Yoga actually means Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are progressions toward the destination of Bhakti Yoga. From the beginning of Karma Yoga to the end of Bhakti Yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma Yoga without fruitive result is the beginning of this path. When Karma Yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called Gnana Yoga. When Gnana Yoga increases in meditation on the Super Soul by different physical processes and the mind is on him, it is called Ashtanga Yoga. And when one surpasses the Ashtanga Yoga and comes to the point of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, it is called Bhakti Yoga, the culmination. Factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal, but to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. One who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called by that particular name. Karma Yogi, Gnana Yogi, or Dhyan Yogi, Raja Yogi, Hatha Yogi, etc. If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of Bhakti Yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga, just as when we speak of Himalayan, we refer to the world's highest mountains, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. It is by great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of Bhakti Yoga to become well situated according to the Vedic directions. The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna, who is called Shyama Sundar, who is as beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flower garlanded, illuminating all sides with his gorgeousness, which is called the Brahma Jyoti. He incarnates in different forms such as Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he descends like a human being as the son of Mother Yashoda, and he is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudeva. He is the perfect child, husband, friend, and master, and he is full with all opulences and transcendental qualities. If one remains fully conscious of these features of the Lord, he is called the highest yogi. This stage of highest perfection in yoga can be attained only by Bhakti Yoga, as is confirmed in all Vedic literature. Yasya devi para bhaktir yatha eve tha guru tasyaiti kathitaya artha prakashante mahatmanaha. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual master are the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Shweta Shwadara Upanishad 6.23. Bhakti asya bhajanam tad iham tropadhi naira shenamusmin manah kalpanam etad eva neshkarmyam. Bhakti means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit, either in this life or in the next. Devoid of such inclinations, one should fully absorb the mind in the Supreme. That is the purpose of Neshkarmya. Gopal Tapani Upanishad 1.15. These are some of the means for performance of bhakti or Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of the yoga system. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Dhyana Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Manta, you're on mute.
So first unit has ended. So 19th and 20th will be your examination. 19th will be your orals. 20th will be your written. Simple exam. Don't worry. Just go on preparing your workbook. Open exam, you can give open book exam, you can give 2 weeks later, within the 2 weeks, by the end of this month. So by Janmashtami, keep yourself free. So Janmashtami, actively take part in whichever close by temple you are there. If you are close to Jagannath Devasthanam, come. If you are close to any other ISKCON temple, go there. So don't keep so many things till Janmashtami, keep yourself free. Okay. After your 20th, we'll start with the 7th chapter. Okay. This second unit, I'll be hurrying very fast. First unit is the foundation. Second unit in a fast track. So that just in 2 months, we have to finish. That is September, October, November, December. Whole Bhagavad Gita should somehow end. So for that extra classes, whatever we have to do, we'll do. So that January, February, March, by April, we have to complete. Okay.
Mataji, open book exam, how we have to give? Write it on full step sheets
Open book exam, you
or
just
notebook?
you can mail it.
What?
You can write and you can mail. You can write and you can even
Mail it.
what you do, mail it also. Remove the photo,
Email.
email.
Okay,
it,
scan and send it.
Scan. and
Okay,
send.
okay,
Okay then.
okay. Thank you.
Any questions
Hare
based on this? Aditya has.
6.46, it is mentioned that a yogi is greater than ascetic. So an ascetic is a
Jnana yogi, tapasvi. Tapasvi. Who does tapasya? Jnanis do tapasya.
What is the meaning of empiricist?
That is karmis.
Karmis is also given like and greater than the fruity work.
What is given here?
A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruity work.
Wait, 46. Yeah. So adhikaha, yes, ascetic. Jnanibhya, empiricist. That means speculatives who do speculative knowledge, who has lot of speculative knowledge. Here what is given? Jnanibhya, wise man. He is trying to speculate. He is greater than that. Ascetic, not every ascetic is a jnani. There are tapasvis. There are jnanis who try to speculate little more higher. So you are going on higher. And then afterwards, fruity workers. You have doubt?
Ritual is also important for new person.
But one has to surpass that also. No? Sanskaras are very much important, no doubt. But one has to even surpass that. In a sadhaka period, it is sadhakas and neophytes. Yes.
Like we eat and we wipe the juta. That is important. Now, how we can survive that?
What?
We eat prasad. We wipe.
We have to wipe, yeah.
Then how?
That is not a ritual, that is spiritual. Because you cannot step over the remnants of what you have eaten and come to the temple. The whole temple becomes chuta. You know, in any of the temples in the south, a pujari is any temple. This is panchasanskaras. This is spiritual aspect. You have to go and worship Lord. So you cannot step over the place where you have eaten. Immediately you have to wipe it off. At least you have to put water. That is not a ritual. That is spiritual. Because you have somewhere placed some prasadam and somebody comes and steps it, then if you see the spiritual angle also, okay, you have eaten, that is juta, but actually what it is, Krishna Prasad. Somebody steps on it, then it is amaryada to the prasadam. So that is why when you have, immediately a water glass is given so that you can put water and you can get up. And it's also said, never, you can pluck everything. You cannot just keep everything and go. You have to take it, not with your right hand, with your left hand, which you have not taken. These are all very important. Especially when you enter DT room, how can you enter with all juta, bita and all? You are serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have to be more Krishna conscious. To such an extent, you get down from the car, you should know how you should go also. If your car is employed for Krishna's service, you should go in the way of parikrama, not that anyhow. That much consciousness, if that consciousness is there, Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatrika, Vidhi, Vina, Ekantika, Harer Bhaktir, Utpate Vahi Kevalam. If a person does Ekanta Bhakti without following Shruti and Smriti, he only creates Utpatha. You have to follow what has been given, Pancharatri system. Jhuta. Now, after taking prasad, you have to wash your legs also. In Ayurveda, it has been given that this is the most best activity which will help you to digest the food. Okay, it's according to Ayurveda. Ayurveda is given by Krishna only. And according to the Vedic culture also, according to Pancharatrika Vidhi also, if you have taken, a pujari first will not take in the dress which he has to go inside the altar. He will wear another dress, have prasadam, wash his legs, hands, and then enter. So this doesn't come in a normal vidhi. This is all Pancharatrika Vidhi for worshipping the Supreme Person. So bhakti doesn't mean that I will not follow anything. I will do whatever comes to my mind. I'm chanting, na? No, I have to be very, very careful in every step. That is Krishna consciousness. How I am taking prasadam. Not, no, I take prasadam. Then how I should take prasadam? From up. You know, even taking prasadam is also an art, which is generally trained in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Prabhupada, just by seeing Prabhupada taking oranges, one person, new person, became a devotee. Prabhupada just sat like this. Like this. The hand is down and the oranges are going in the mouth. Prabhupada never touched his hands in the mouth. Somebody asks you, your hand is not juta, you can give. That is why generally you have to take like this. It's a training. Just by seeing Prabhupada putting oranges in the mouth like this, and you should not try out. If we try out, it will not go in our mouth. It will go in somebody else's mouth or it will spill down. This person became a devotee. In Vaishnavas, in Sri Vaishnavas, they are very important, like Madhva Sampradayas. Right? Yes.
They mean at the level of mind or at the level of intelligence?
What?
Whatever they do.
Everything is a level of mind only. Mind, intelligence, both function. In intelligence, see, don't get confused. Intelligence is the next door neighbor of the soul. His question is, this karmis, jnanis, they function at which level? Mind level, intelligence level, which level? Intelligence will only function if you are employing your strength in Krishna's service. Simple. So it is mind. Mind. To control the mind. Why are they doing? To control the mind. Karmis. Not to control the mind. To enjoy the senses. They are karmis. Jnanis, they restrict the senses to control the mind. Bhaktas, they employ the intelligence. So anyhow mind is controlled. They employ the intelligence by employing all the senses in Krishna's service.
Impersonalist.
I think you're completely confused. Now where did impersonalists come? Anyhow, jnanis, yogis are impersonalists only. Both are impersonalists. They are not personalists. Personalists are only bhaktas. Same yogis, after many, many janmas, can understand personal feature of Lord. And Brahman aspect, again, don't degrade them because they are into transcendental path. Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, step by step. They are also doing lot of austerity. Krishna somehow gives everyone everything. At least they are not drinking some wine and sitting somewhere. No, they are also doing some austerity. They are plucking their hairs. They are walking barefoot. You have many tapasvis who are doing like this. There are tapasvis who sit in the middle encircled by a band of fire. There are tapasvis who keep crab on their hand, make the crab eat. There are tapasvis who sit, who are aghoris. So while Krishna will not give them something, at least they are better than whom? People who are standing with some tickets to go to see cinema. They're better than them. Because at least Krishna says, this is not enjoying his senses. They're trying to do a lot of austerity, tapasvis. There are jnanis who are trying to understand, I'm not the body, I'm the soul. That is impulse. Understand tapasvis, and I'm not the body, I'm soul. They are trying to understand that, and they are trying to now analyze who is Krishna, his personal, who is God. They don't know now till now, Krishna. They are trying to analyze who is God. They are speculators, mental speculators. At least these people are better than whom? A karmi. A karmi is one who just enjoys. You see, clubs and the pubs are full of karmis. They get money, they enjoy. They're all better or not? So we should respect. Not that we should not respect. When you see a tapasvi, when you see a jnani, immediately you should say dasosmi. You should know that. I am just das and das. Dasosmi. But Bhakta is far better. Why? He is so fortunate. At least he has understood that Krishna is a person. To become a Bhakta also, or to get a Bhakti path also, it requires lot of janmas. That is why one should value the most wonderful treasure which our acharyas have given to us. That is the path of devotion. That is Harinam. That is why Harinam has to be chanted very nicely and very sincerely. But this is ultimate treasure which acharyas have given. He said, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. It is by the mercy of our Guru Acharyas one gets holy name. Okay. Any other question?
Reading Krishna book or Krishna Leela before we go to bed. For a neophyte, whether it is advised to read.
Yeah. The question of Aditya is whether we should read Krishna book before going to bed. Because as a neophyte, can we enter Krishna Leela? Prabhupada has recommended. It is a medicine so that night, which is full of tamas, the tamas will not affect. And then tamas, rajas, anyhow, we have to surpass all these things. And in the dreams also, you get Krishna's name only. Okay.
We read about Krishna and then we wake up in the morning and start chanting. All those thoughts, all those.
I think you should on that mic and so that others also will hear your question.
So the follow-up question is, after reading Krishna book before going to bed, when we wake up, we may get a thought of Krishna Leela while doing chanting. So whether that is okay or
Very nice. Smartavya satatam Vishnu. Smartavya na jata. Whatever you have read, you can, while chanting, if it that is coming, very good. Nothing wrong. It's again Krishna's mercy only. Okay. As much as possible, see Harinam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. In thought process, oh, Krishna killed Putana. Okay. Any other doubt? You have doubt? Okay, on that mic and give him.
Bhagavatam, there is one shloka in which it is said that learned souls, they seek Paramatma Dhyanam, Paramatma Dhyan, and they said, what is
Bhagavatam should never be read alone. Stop taking advices from people who say read Bhagavatam every day. If you read Bhagavatam alone, you will be completely confused. Bhagavatam should be heard and then read. That is why I told Bhagavatam is not one of the ritualistic activity. You can read Bhagavad Gita, whatever taught you read. But if you read Bhagavatam, you will land up in further confusion. Anyhow, in Bhakti Vaibhav, you are going to study Bhagavatam. Alone, if you study Bhagavatam, if you read Bhagavatam, you will never understand what has been told. Advayam Rupam, you will never understand. It is very difficult. That is why Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Yes, now you are reading, now we are discussing every Sunday, Gajendra Moksha. Open that. Whatever you have heard, read it again. That is how Abhyasa is done. Not that, oh, let me study Bhagavatam so that, my life will be successful. Bhagavatam is a treasure which cannot be read alone. It has to be taken in a proper mood, handled very properly, or one will land up in confusion. That is how what you should do. Best thing is Krishna book, which doesn't have much, just direct Krishna book, which Prabhupada has not given anything on Sanskrit. Just read Krishna book. Just go on reading Krishna book. Again repeat Krishna book. That is 10th canto Bhagavatam. Again go on repeating Krishna book. Where Prabhupada has directly given translations. There is no verses. You can read that. Every night just read Krishna book. But that is an instruction by our Acharya. Follow Acharya. Whatever Acharya say, that you follow. Astrologers may say many things. One is astrologer saying, one is Acharya saying. Astrologer seeing your astrological chart, they say, yes, read Bhagavatam. Solution is what? Read 10th canto, Bhagavatam, over. Read whatever Prabhupada has given. That is also Bhagavatam only. Krishna book is what? Bhagavatam. But simplified Bhagavatam. Understand it. It's a simplified Bhagavatam. It's very important. Or whatever we are reading, go through it. Instead of that, best is read Krishna book and sleep. Because our acharyas have recommended. See, acharyas know what type of people join our movement. The most degraded people join our movement. Simple. Prabhupada says. To Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all high-class people join the movement. Netaji, Subhash Chandra Bose, all high-class people, very learned people. And Prabhupada knows that in this movement, all natures and all will be joining this movement. But Prabhupada has given such medicine to purify. One who doesn't have any qualification, join the movement. So that is why Prabhupada knows what should be given. But if you see Madhva Sampradaya, all high-class Brahmanas, they join the movement. If you go and see their Gurukul, all high-class, who are all educated, Veda, Brahmanas, like this. In our movement, less Brahmanas and other all caste will be there. Simple. So what? But Bhakti is not dependent on any caste. So Prabhupada, what he does? He washes all our contaminations. So solution is right. But that solution is for a certain class of people. Reading Bhagavatam every day is right. But certain class of people, high class people, seeing our Vetha, Prabhupada knows our Vetha, how degraded we are. So Prabhupada says, okay, I will simplify the Bhagavatam and give you in the form of text. Okay. Hare Krishna. So stop here. So study nicely. Now the class will be, tomorrow there is no class. Wednesday I may take one class, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, Hare Krishna.